Hey, my foodie friends and family. Thanks for stopping by. I miss you guys from week to week. Today we're going to do a classic French recipe for chicken, which is a chicken in mustard sauce. Very typical country style French dish. In this is, I believe, a 4-liter Dutch oven. I've thrown it on the heat and I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I use extra virgin because I love the flavor, and it's a polyunsaturated oil, so it's really good for heart health. Now I've gone to find the chicken. I don't know why, but I am so organized most of the time, but every now and then I forget something. Today it's the chicken. So you see me walking back and forth wondering, where did I put that chicken? I know I had it. Anyways, I'm going to use 4 boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You could definitely use chicken breast for this. The flavor is best though with the dark meat. But absolutely do you, whatever works for you. Now, even though I've had this pan heating, it doesn't seem to be very hot. You saw me flipping around that chicken there because I was kind of wondering why it wasn't sizzling. And there's a lesson here. Don't put meat in a cold pan because you'll see what's going to happen as soon as I try to turn it. There, I jacked up the heat because I see that nothing is happening. So I'm going to season with some salt and pepper. This is pretty standard for me. I don't vary too much unless I want to add some chili flakes or something, because I know someone that's going to be eating this with me likes it spicy. But in a classic French recipe, there is no hotness to the dish. But again, you do you. Now we're cooking. And now you're going to see my boo-boo by not having the pan hot when you put the chicken in. It is just not coming off. Even though this is a cast iron Dutch oven, it is sticking like you wouldn't believe. The positive part of this though is that all those bits that stick on the bottom and turn brown will make delicious sauce. So it's going to work out. Nothing ever goes wrong. Yeah, you see, I'm really fighting with this. And all the brown bits that were on the chicken now are ripped off and in the bottom of the pan. Anyway, so once you get it flipped over, we're going to season this side with some more salt and pepper. There it is, nicely browned. I'm going to take the chicken out of the pan, and you can see that there are quite a few chunks left behind. And all kinds of brown bits that are going to make a delicious sauce when you get this together. So for now, we're taking the chicken out. I'm adding in 1 onion that I've chopped up. I prepared everything in advance, so I just have to kind of dump and go. Give those a stir. Once the onions start to soften, they start to release their juices, and it'll pick up all the fond and those bits in the bottom of the pan. It'll make everything really tasty. I've obviously gone to search for something else. I don't know why I was so disorganized this day. I always get so excited when I'm doing a recipe for you that I tend to forget stuff. You see, I've got a small portable fan at the side of the stove there. I got that so that all the steam would blow the other way, so it wouldn't go up to the camera and cloud the lens up. So you get clear pictures now. Wasn't that a good idea? They're so cheap. Find them on Amazon. Not a problem. I'm throwing in a pint of white mushrooms. In France, they would use something called champignon mushrooms, which are very small white ones, similar to this, but even smaller. And I realized after I threw the mushrooms in that they were supposed to be quartered, not whole. So I picked them back out of the pan and diced them up and threw them back in. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of garlic. And as you stir that around, you see that those brown bits at the bottom of the pan are coming up, and they're making everything look nice brown. I'm adding in 1 tomato that I've diced. Tomato will exude a lot of its juice once it starts cooking, and it will also give your sauce a beautiful golden color. It's not so much the taste, but it does add a background note to your sauce. I'm adding a tablespoon of flour. I tend to use whole wheat flour, but you can use whichever you like. The only thing I wouldn't do is probably use cornstarch, because cornstarch will make a clear sauce. And in this recipe, I don't know if you'd want that. You want a beautiful mushroom and mustard and tomato sauce. And to have it look clear maybe would look odd. Typically is not a French way of thickening. The French always like, fat and flour roux. They invented it. So we need to cook out the flour because you don't want a gritty kind of flour taste to your sauce. And the way to avoid that is to make sure that you cook out the flour long enough so that the starch molecules open up and are ready to absorb any liquid that you add. And constantly scrape away the bits that get stuck to the bottom of the pan. You don't want them to scorch. I'm adding 2 cups of chicken stock. This one happens to be infused with white wine, which is absolutely delicious in this recipe. Traditionally, you would add white wine in the cooking. So you could do either. This stock happens to have it together, so no problem. But if you have a favorite dry white French wine, that would be the perfect glug to throw in here just now. You would want to use that same French wine to serve with this dinner. They would perfectly go together then. Always use wine in your cooking that tastes great. Don't buy cooking wine, because all that is it's almost like salted wine and it tastes awful. Use really good wine. Whatever you can afford. We need to bring this up to a boil so that the starch gets to its full thickening power. I'm putting back all the chicken bits along with any juice that's accumulated in that plate. We want all the flavor possible out of that chicken. This chicken dish would be perfect for a date night. A Saturday night where you and your favorite person are getting together for dinner. It could be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or that friend that you just want to do something special for because they deserve it. This is the meal to use for that. It's absolutely delicious and so yummy. I've added 1/3 cup of grainy mustard and 1 cup of creme fraiche. I would not use sour cream for this recipe because it would be too strong. Creme fraiche just has this little hint of sourness that make the delicious taste and cuts the kind of greasiness of the dish. That little pot that the creme fraiche came in, I'm going to wash out, and I'm going to put some little flowers there to sit on the table so that when we enjoy our dinner together, it's going to be a nice night. That, with a bottle of wine that you've chilled in the fridge, with a nice green salad, and this chicken dish, what a night. The only thing better would be some nice dessert that goes with this. Maybe I'll make a dessert too. You never know. There's the completed dish. Doesn't it look good? Serve this with rice. You can serve it with mashed potatoes. You don't need to serve it with anything. Have it with some crusty bread instead. If you like the recipe, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. The more foodies here, the better. Thanks for stopping by for some more food that warms my soul and yours. See you next time.